This is Sterling Marn, and this is my Let's Play for EVE Online. Now, I've been playing EVE Online since 2006. I have a couple of accounts, but I decided I'm going to start a new account, see what the EVE Online new player experience is like, and see what's changed since 2006 when I last had a new character. And this is the screen we're at now, where we get to create our new toon. The first step is choosing your race, which you've got Keldari, Gallente, Ammar, and Minmatar. Really not an important choice, mostly just going to determine your few starting skills and exactly where you'll start. I'm going to be starting with Keldari, puts me in probably the best trade hubs, and is a lot different than what I've played. I've always played in the past. Oh, it looks like there's some audio. Um, but I've always played a Gallente armor tanking hybrid weapon, even on my PvP account, which is pretty high skilled. I just never really got into shield tanking or missiles, so I'll be giving that a shot. Um, go ahead and choose my bloodline. Uh, all of this used to matter a lot more in the character creation process, but you start with far fewer skill points now and have much more ability to control your attributes, so I'm going to be going through this section pretty quick. Well, I'll be trying to go through it pretty quick if it loads quickly. EVE has definitely put a lot of effort into allowing the character customization, although you always had a lot of ability to create the portrait now that it's a full body thing, and even then just the abilities of customizing the facial structure have gotten really extreme, but pretty neat if you're into that sort of thing. I can't say I care a whole lot about all the different options when it comes to how your character appears. But I don't like that appearance, so let's try and randomize it again. We'll go with that one. If you have an older character and you're coming back to EVE, you'll actually get to go through this whole process and create your character's portrait and recreate your appearance. You can actually do a whole lot of posing and take all sorts of pictures of yourself again if you're really into that sort of thing. I'm probably going to go more combat oriented. I'm really going to try and show off all the different things that EVE Online can do and experience the new player experience for a new industrialist, trader, and all of that. But to really get into it and to start have some fun, you definitely want to have some combat skills. So I'm going to try and choose an ancestry uh, that's going to get me some of those skills a little quicker. And it looks like my name's available. Now, one of the first things that I'm going to want to do with a new account is set my initial skill training. Which, to be honest, I don't know what I'm going to find here as far as starting skills. I'm guessing I don't have enough ISK to really go buying a bunch of books. No, 5,000 ISK will definitely not buy me much in the way of skill books. So let's see what we have available. Electronics, always going to need that. So we'll add that into the queue. That's already a pretty long skill at 20 hours. Let's see if there's some shorter ones that we can get knocked out. Gunnery is useful. That's only a 3-hour train. Now, the way skill training works in EVE, let me take a step back. You've got a set of attributes. In this case, my attributes started all right around 20. Attributes determine how quickly a given skill will train. Um, different skills rely on different attributes. Each has a primary and a secondary. We can right click on any skill and go to the show info. And for instance, gunnery, the primary attribute is perception, secondary is willpower, and that's going to determine how long it takes to train based on the level of the skill that we're trying to go to, in this case level 3, and the skills multiplier, which in this one is a 1x, so it's a pretty quick skill to train. Even then, you're still looking at a few days to get it all the way up to level 5, but we can shorten that by having our attributes mapped well. We get 2 free remaps after that. You only get 1 a year, so it's definitely something that you don't want to be too quick about. Um, almost in the most generic sense, the most important skills are going to be or attributes are going to be intelligence and perception. They're used very widely by a lot of skills, and it's a very common primary. Um, Willpower and memory are probably the second most commonly used, so you'll want to then focus on those. Charisma, even if you're heavy into trading or mission running and want to get up your social skills, those are ones that rely on charisma. You're still going to have a limited benefit there. Um, Intelligence and memory are going to be more Care Bear style skills. Perception and willpower are going to be more of your various gunnery and combat skills. So let's go ahead and we're just going to get rid of all of our charisma that we can. We're going to put some of that into intelligence. We will drop our willpower and memory by a point and put those into perception and intelligence. Maybe one more. I'm going to drop my willpower, no, my memory by one more and put that into perception. So here's my skill remap again, putting that focus on intelligence and perception. I highly recommend going out and getting EveMon, building a skill plan. It's a third-party application. You can link it to your account with what's called your API key. More on that later. But that's going to then it'll actually do all this work for you. You could put a whole year of training plan in there, and it will tell you what the best attribute remap is for you. But for now, I'm just going to go with this. And we get our warning about that 12 months that I warned before you get the free remap. I'll get in 2013, but I do have free remaps available before then, of course. So I may tweak that after building a more complete skill plan. But those various attributes then are based on the category that the skill is in. So for instance, in gunnery, I've got 2 skills right now that I have available to me. They're both going to have those same perception and willpower as their basis. So now we're going to go ahead and apply this skill plan. We actually saw it drop a little bit there when I hit apply because it looked at my new attributes and saw that they're optimized a little bit better. Oh, and Spaceship Command, definitely going to want to try and get into a bigger, better ship as quickly as possible. So let's go ahead and add Caldari Frigate. So skills are broken down into various categories. We've got Spaceship Command is what's going to determine what ships you can fly. In this case, I started with Caldari Frigate at level 2, which means I can fly a couple of the available frigates. Getting that to 3 will open up more options. And then by getting it to 4, it'll open up an entirely new skill that I could then buy, Caldari Cruiser. Every race has their own frigate, cruiser, battleship, destroyer, battle cruiser, and other classes of ships available to it. And they all rely on the Spaceship Command skill, which is independent of the various racial skills. As you want to get higher and into bigger and better ships, for instance, once I want to get into a Caldari battleship, I'll have a whole new set of prerequisites. In that case, my frigate skill would have to be at 4, my Spaceship Command would have to be at 4, my Caldari Cruiser would have to be at 4. So as you can see, before I could even sit inside of a battleship, I definitely have a decent amount of training to do. Of course, I'll have to buy some additional skill books. I don't have Caldari Cruiser at all, which is why there's the red X there. And my 5,000 ISK will not be able to pay for the 3.6 million ISK skill book, which, although not expensive after you've been playing a little while, as a new player, I'm already realizing that generating ISK is definitely going to be a quick priority. I'm not going to be transferring any ISK over from my main account, which makes it kind of fun that 3.6 million suddenly sounds like a lot. Again, Players running incursions and doing other high-level tasks can easily generate 30, 40, 50 million ISK an hour, so uh, definitely not a large amount of ISK for you once you're experienced, but as a new player, this is kind of fun. Other skills, science is going to be a lot of various research and other Care Bear type skills. Navigation is how well you fly your ship. It's going to affect your maneuverability, your ship's speed, and what modules you can use to make your ship faster. Mechanics is going to allow fitting of certain modules and a lot of armor repairing and armor tanking skills. Industry is more Care Bear skills to include mining, production, that type of thing. Gunnery is shooting stuff. Um, Although I do start with Small Hybrid Turret 3, I'm probably going to be switching primarily to missiles. Caldari are primarily missile users, although they will also use hybrid turrets, so having the one, it definitely isn't useless, but I'm going to be switching over to various missile skills after I run some missions here and get some money for these skill books. Engineering is going to affect the fitting of modules and how much power grid you have to fit modules, along with energy. All of the modules on your ship require energy from your capacitor to be able to run. Engineering is going to make that more efficient. And electronics is a combination of electronic warfare skills for things like jamming your enemy's ships, and again also for fitting. You have a certain amount of CPU fitting which you can improve with your electronics. In fact, that's what the electronics skill does. 5% bonus to ship CPU output per skill level, which makes it easier to fit things. But right here at the start, and I've read a little bit about this and heard a little bit about it, I have an agent available for me in the station that I'm in named Aura, and this is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, an entire line of missions which I get to run that will take me all over New Eden, get me familiar with all of the different things available. So it looks like I need to fly to this location in space and retrieve my ship. Um, so right now I'm in Kissigo, and it wants me to go to a spot in Kissigo, so that's pretty easy. We'll go ahead and accept the mission.
Proceed down the hallway to the ship hangar balcony. There you can board your capsule and undock.
And it offers me the chance to undock, although it's saying I need to walk down some type of corridor. All we need to do is hit this undock button. Again, all these tutorials and things are pretty new to me. I've never actually gotten to go through this.
Whenever you are
It's kind
given
of
a mission, you will be provided with a bookmark to that location, allowing you to warp there.
And we can see the ibises that are near me. That is a new player ship, so it looks like I'm definitely surrounded mostly by other new players right now. And as it said, I will have a bookmark available to get me to go to my new ship. Whenever you have a mission, they'll appear when you're in your right-click menu here. So I right-clicked in space, and I get to go ahead and warp to the dead space location where my ship awaits.
Warp drive active.
So some other things in the interface here. You see my shield, armor, and structure. That determines your life. Once your structure is completely gone, your ship is destroyed. Any damage into structure can cause damage to different modules. Typically in most ships you're either going to be shield tanking or armor tanking.
Take control of your camera drones now to change the view around your capsule. Every ship you pilot comes pre-fitted with self-piloting camera drones. These drones function as your eyes in space and provide full tactical awareness.
I've never heard them referred to as camera drones, but that's an interesting way to explain why we can see the way we can in Eve.
Camera drones can also move in and out from your ship. You can control your drones manually and I've relayed instructions to your Neocom on how to perform basic commands from your ship. Try selecting the acceleration gate now with left click.
And here's an acceleration gate. These are common whenever you're running a mission. They actually bring you into the mission area.
These next instructions cover the use of your context menu. Try using it now. Right-click the...
And so we right-click on the gate and choose to activate it, and that's going to bring us into the
Warp drive
further into the
active.
dead space area where our mission awaits. Any effort to warp directly to
Excellent
me, for
work.
instance, if I
You
had
have
another...
arrived at the
Oh,
location.
and she just keeps interrupting me.
Locate your ship and board it.
Now, if I had somebody in my gang and they were to try to warp directly to me right now, another player, they would actually go to that initial gate. You can't warp directly into these dead space areas. You have to follow the path, I guess you could say. But here is my first new player's ship. I'll right-click it and hit board ship, and here we are.
A capsule pilot must be aware of their shield. Common interactions are available and you are making great progress. Now, travel to the final area of this training site and locate the item you are asked to retrieve.
And so we'll activate this last gate.
Warp drive active.
If you need to take manual control, give your ship a direction and it will travel that way at full speed.
But as I was talking about tanking, you'll generally either shield or armor tank, just depending on the type of ship, the type of setup that you're in. You'll basically never see somebody attempting to do both if they're fitting their ship properly. And then here you can see my capacitor. This is the energy that we use to power all of the
You
modules
must now
in our
retrieve
ship.
the item from the structure in front of you. You have new instructions in your Neocom on how to transfer items to your ship's cargo.
And let's look inside here and see what we got. So we right-click and open cargo, and they are clearance documents. And we will move them into my ship. Now this whole interface here is actually brand new.
You've done well, pilot. You should warp back to the station and dock.
And so here's our station over here, the State War Academy, where we undocked initially. We can just right-click on there and choose dock, and we'll fly back. But this new cargo interface is all brand new, so if you've played even the past and you're not familiar with this, don't be surprised. The new unified inventory, it's definitely taking me a little getting used to, but it is a pretty nice way of better organizing large inventories. And so right now there's very little risk of PvP for me. Being in a NPC corporation means I don't have to worry about war decks, and the system that we're in has a 1.0 security status, which is the highest possible status, which basically means anybody who would attempt to attack us will very
Contact me through the
quickly
agent's menu to complete the mission.
would very quickly have the police force known as Concord come in and blow up their ship. And there'd be little point in sacrificing a ship just for the purpose of blowing up a newbie ship, which I could have replaced for free, because everyone always gets free newbie ships whenever you get destroyed and don't have a ship in dock. So now we have our necessary mission objective, which is these documents prove that we've completed our mission. We can talk to Aura and complete our first mission. And we have 500 more ISK, which will allow us to purchase basically nothing. So now we can go ahead and actually I'm going to go ahead and call this a good stopping point for the first video. I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of the basics of EVE and going through and seeing this first mission with me for the first time. Thank you, and I hope to see you on the next video.